The second largest city in Israel is Tel Aviv Yafo, which is frequently referred to as just Tel Aviv, after Jerusalem. It is located on the Mediterranean coast of Israel. About 460,000 individuals call Tel Aviv home as of February 2021. 52 square kilometers is the total area of the city, 20 square miles. The average height above sea level is 5 meters, 16 feet. Israel's greenest city, according to rankings, is Tel Aviv. Presented by AWZ. Don't forget to subscribe this channel and click the bell icon for more other interesting videos. In 1909, Tel Aviv was established, and while Palestine was still under the British mandate, it grew into a major metropolis. Sir Patrick Getty's urban plan, which reflected contemporary organic planning ideas, served as the foundation for the construction of the White City from the early 1930s through the 1950s. The structures were created by skilled architects who worked as professionals in Europe before immigrating. In a different cultural setting, they produced an exceptional modern movement architectural ensemble. On the hills along the eastern Mediterranean Sea coast, directly north of the fortified port city of Jaffa, Tel Aviv was established in 1909. It grew into a bustling urban center while Israel was under British occupation, 1917 to 1948, becoming the country's most important economic and metropolitan hub. The core White City, Lev Hare and Rothschild Avenue, and the Bialik area are the three distinct zones that make up the serial property. These three areas are encircled by a shared buffer zone. The White City of Tel Aviv is an excellent representation of the avant-garde town planning concepts of the early 20th century on a big scale. The building is a composite portrayal of some of the most important architectural movements that emerged in Europe. The White City is another superb illustration of how these themes are being used while taking into account regional climatic factors and cultural customs. Tel Aviv was established in 1909, and during the British Mandate in Palestine, it expanded quickly. One of the leading theorists of the early modern era, Sir Patrick Getty's, 1925-27, developed the urban master plan for the White City, which serves as its focal point. His sole significant urban realization is Tel Aviv, which is an urban entity of physical, economic, social, and human demands based on an environmental approach rather than a garden city. He was a pioneer in his understanding of the nature of the city as an organism constantly changing in time and place, as a homogeneous urban and rural dynamic landscape, and he established such novel concepts as conurbation and environment. His scientific town planning principles, built on a fresh understanding of a site and region, had a global impact on urban planning in the 20th century. These are the concerns that his vision for Tel Aviv takes into account. Many different architects who had studied and worked as architects in different European nations created the buildings. They represented a variety of modernist creative movements in their work in Tel Aviv, but they also considered the site's unique local and cultural characteristics. None of the North African or European realizations display a synthesis of the modernist image on this scale. The architecture of Tel Aviv is further enhanced by regional customs. The design was modified to account for the site's unique climatic conditions, giving each structure and the ensemble as a whole a distinct personality. Criteria: The White City of Tel Aviv is an outstanding example of the modern movement's diverse ideas in architecture and town planning from the early 20th century. These influences were incorporated into local customs and adapted to the region's climate and cultural norms. Criteria: The White City of Tel Aviv is a superb illustration of early 20th century new town design and architecture that was tailored to the needs of a specific cultural and geographic environment. Integrity. The different facets of urban design have successfully kept the Getty's plan's essence: morphology, parcelling, hierarchy, and profiles of streets, proportions of open and closed spaces, green areas. The city's infrastructure is intact, with the exception of Dizengoff Circle, where pedestrian and traffic patterns have shifted despite efforts to bring back the original design. Future incremental adjustments might compromise the ensemble's integrity. The buffer zone has seen some noticeable modifications as a result of new building and commercial development between the 1960s and 1990s, including some out-of-scale office and residential constructions. The White City is enclosed inside a ring of tall buildings, which has obviously changed how it originally related to its surroundings. Any further construction can affect the integrity of its appearance. Authenticity. The integrity of style, typology, character of streets, and the link between green spaces and urban components, such as fountains, pergolas, and gardens, all attest to how well the originality of architectural design has been kept. Although there have been significant losses, as in other ancient towns, the intricacies of entrance lobbies, staircases, railings, wooden mailboxes, front and apartment doors, and window frames have generally not been altered. Even in registered buildings, the design of certain individual structures has been altered by rooftop expansions. Although, to a certain extent, such additions can be seen as a continuation of the past, care must be taken to prevent the urban profile, the original scale, or the site's parameters from being altered in order to maintain Tel Aviv as a lively, thriving city. Needs for management and protection. Urban and territorial plans address and incorporate management. These include the Regional Master Plan TMM5, which serves as the primary planning tool for the Tel Aviv Conservation Region, and the National Master Plan TAMA 35, which contains the pertinent Section 58 on the Urban Conservation Ensemble in central Tel Aviv, Jaffa. Programs to promote tourism, disseminate information, and prioritize conservation are all part of management policies. It would be advisable to take into account the potential for recent heritage to receive national legal protection. Conservation Plan 2650B, which was submitted in 2002, was approved in 2008. A mechanism for the transfer of building rights has been put in place to make up for the loss of such rights, as the vast majority of the roughly 1,000 historic structures mentioned in this document and other targeted local plans are privately held. This especially refers to the strict restrictions placed on 180 buildings, to which no modifications are permitted. The construction of permitted additional floors to the other surviving protected structures has been permitted, subject to certain restrictions. For the evaluation, approval, and oversight of building permits and construction within the inscribed area, an unique procedure has been devised. The municipality's conservation unit, which at the moment has 8 professional architects on staff, is in charge of managing and controlling this. The municipality continuously assesses development trends in order to provide steps to enhance the regulation of changes in the existing fabric in light of current real estate pressures. In Tel Aviv, there is a Museum of Fine Art. It was founded in 1932. Many of the significant movements in contemporary art during this time, as well as some of the most notable painters of the first half of the 20th century, are represented in the museum's collection: German Expressionism, Cubism, Futurism, Russian Constructivism, the Distill movement, Surrealism, French art from the Impressionists and Post-Impressionists to the School of Paris. Key pieces by Pablo Picasso from the Blue and Neoclassical period to his late period, Cubist artwork by Albert Glizes and Jean Metzinger, several sculptures by Jacques Lipchitz, and surrealist works by Joan Moreau are just a few examples. In Jaffa, a neighborhood of Tel Aviv, the Jaffa Clock Tower is located in the middle of Yafet Street's northern end. The tower, which is made of limestone, has 2 clocks and a plaque honoring the Israelis who lost their lives in the 1948 Arab-Israeli war battle for the town. This clock tower is one of 7 that were erected in Palestine during the Ottoman era. In Tel Aviv's Old Jaffa neighborhood sits the historic port of Jaffa. It is situated on the Mediterranean Sea. It functions as a yacht harbor, a fishing harbor, and a tourist attraction. It provides a wide range of cultural and culinary possibilities, including eateries that provide fresh fish and seafood. A significant hub for culture and entertainment is Tel Aviv. It is renowned for having a huge selection of top-notch restaurants that serve both traditional Israeli food and cuisine from across the world. The city is home to more than 100 sushi restaurants, the 3rd highest concentration in the world. The most famous dessert in Tel Aviv is halva ice cream, which is typically served with pistachios and date syrup on top. Israel's greenest city, according to rankings, is Tel Aviv. This is all for today. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe our channel. Stay tuned with AWZ.